The real heart of the book is questioning life. Riley is taking this inward journey and really coming up against some of the tough questions that we all face. So the book is this inner quest that Riley has to go through, and it parallels a journey that I think we all go through. Hi, I'm Daniel Stewart, author of Riley Read.
I'm Christopher Whitehead, illustrator.
Riley Read is a book, the real heart of the book is questioning life and finding value in the things that are happening in life. And we really do that in three ways in the complex quest of Riley Read. First, it's what do you do with varying viewpoints? How do you navigate that landscape? Two is working through fear to find value on the other side. And three is, what is the purpose of the storms that we encounter in our lives? Those really big traumatic events that lay us low. What's the point? Where's the value?
Riley Read really is for the child that's looking for answers and looking for adults to guide them, but it's more importantly for adults and adults to work with children to answer some of these questions. I think Daniel, as the author, really intended that this book be shared with adults and their children to deal with the storms of life and the questions and concepts that are sometimes difficult to discuss.
The artwork in the story is really interesting, engaging, and brings the reader into some of these more complex ideas. So not only are there illustrations for showing what's going on in a particular scene, but there's also a whole host of visual metaphors. So it really helps children sort of visualize something that they would otherwise have a really hard time understanding.
Yeah, I tried to take some of those concepts that were written about and tried to visualize what those would look like if they were in an image form. I think those metaphors come across visually in the monotoneness of it. We really stuck to black, white, and just a little bit of a midtone and a red for punch, because I think a lot of the text is talking about kind of a black or white image with little room for interpretation per character, but then each character has their own black and white view.
And with the only color in the book being red, it is symbolic that Riley sees a reflection coming back. It's just sort of a fun way to say that the main character is reflected in all these different situations. Riley is very relatable to children of today. Divorce is rampant. There's a whole lot of confusion in the world with social media being what it is. You have all these different viewpoints coming at you and everyone saying, hey, I know what's going on, listen to me. So, what do you do? How do you navigate that kind of landscape? And the book, really highlights that, and it asks those questions, when somebody's saying, hey, these are your choices, A or B, what do you choose? Well, how do you know that there's only two choices? How do you know there isn't a bunch of choices? How do you know that, what they're asking you is even the right question? So they're hard concepts to wrap your mind around as an adult, and I think even more so as a child, but, putting together a story like this, I think really helps shine a light on what otherwise would be, just a really hard thing to get in focus.
I think a lot of the concepts that the adults are addressing in the book seem like adult issues and adult questions, whereas Riley also is addressing some fear, and it seems like it's a childlike fear. Some imagination has really built up part of this fear. Some of the imagery, both visually and in the drawings, try to show this childlike fear, because that is a concept that's real to Riley. Whether or not the adults see that fear is necessary, it's still a concept that's alive and well for Riley. So that's represented along with the other concepts of struggle and strife.
So when I wrote Riley Read, there was a lot going on in the world. There still is. I lost my mom, my dad, my sister-in-law, all within 13 months of each other. The COVID pandemic was happening, and as we record this, it's still happening. And really, there were a lot of lessons I learned, several years prior that helped me get through this, and I really imbued the book with those lessons. And for me, the biggest hardship that I've really faced thus far in my life was my divorce. Something I didn't see coming, and one of those, what I would call sort of foundation cracking events, you know, where it really disrupts your whole idea of what's going to happen in the future, like where you're going, and it makes you question everything that happened in your past. Having to go through that sort of storm of life, you know, I really had to think, what's the meaning behind this? What's the point? You know, when these things really slam you and knock you down, you know, it could be sickness, it could be death, divorce, there's a whole host of things that it can be, but what's the point of these things? And I felt like not only is it extremely important for adults to wrap their minds around that, but also children, and it can be a really hard topic to talk about and to enter. So, you know, I hope that the book is a bridge for parents to really be able to talk with their children about these hard things to talk about.
Part of what brings Daniel and I together is this divorce and me remarrying into the family. So what we're approaching this as is we're fathers and we have children. So not only was the divorce, you know, a traumatic event in the adult lives, it was obviously a traumatic event in the lives of our children. So 2 daughters and 2 sons, and we have lots of concerns about their upbringing and you know, how they're viewing life. And one of the things that I think is very wonderful about this project is the fact that Daniel and I have worked together. It shows our children that you know, adults can get along and that we can do great things together, even through struggle.
Another large component of the book is working through fear and anger, you know, to find value on the other side. Christopher and I met. He's married to my ex, and you know, so often, you know, you hear these horror stories where people just battle one another. Of course, you know, when you're going through a tragic event, you know, there is you got to work through anger and resentment and various things to come out on the other side. So, you know, we did that, and I mean, we're really good friends. My ex as well. I mean, we do dinner together all the time. We hang out. We go on family vacations. So, you know, we've really done it in a way that, you know, unfortunately a lot of people don't do it. But, you know, it's good for our kids. It's good for us, and it, you know, not only are those concepts in the book, but it enabled the book to be, because I mean, we work extremely well together. We can sit down, you know, I'm doing doodles, passing them to him. He's making it better and doing his thing, and we're talking about concepts, and, you know, it's just been this amazing relationship. And I think it is a testament to what can come out of utilizing these concepts in the book and really working through that stuff and not being stopped by emotion. I do love Neil Gaiman because of his ability to write in this childlike way, and I think I kind of see the world that way anyways. Also, you know, Neil's books tend to be creepy, so like people have read Riley Red and they said it made them think of Coraline. You know, it's got this very sort of sinister aspect to it, and so we have that going on, and there's that play of fear that I think heightens everything and really draws the reader in. The idea is that Riley Red isn't just going to be one book, it's going to be an entire series that grows with your child. So as your children get older, Riley's also getting older, and the lessons are getting more complicated and more interesting. So I already have, you know, the wheels are turning in my head. I already have like another book that's coming down the pike in the future. There's also a companion book that'll go with the complex quest of Riley Red that'll help you actualize some of the lessons that are in the book. So it's kind of like a step-by-step process. And then within the complex quest, there is a story within a story called The Storm, which has some really heavy-hitting concepts about, you know, the storms of our lives and the value in them.
We're also working with several educators, teachers in the classroom to try and make connections with the concepts and some of the social emotional learning aspects in this book, and how to connect that back into curriculum and create some lesson plans and activities for workshops or projects that can be done with students.
For more information on Riley Red, you can check out the website. That's rileyredbook.com. To actually purchase the book, either go through the website or you can go to Amazon directly. So there's a paperback on Amazon as well as an ebook.
You can also follow the Quest of Riley Red on Facebook. There's a page there, and on Instagram, and we have videos that we're posting on YouTube.